Welcome back, everybody. You're watching the Handyman Business YouTube channel. On this channel, we discuss how to make a lot of money fixing people's houses and remodeling people's houses. In today's video, I'm going to tell you about the top 4 most requested handyman jobs that pay good money. I'm also going to tell you the #1 handyman skill at the end of the video. So make sure you stay tuned for that. A lot of you may be just starting a handyman business, or it's not making enough money yet, and you're trying to find ways to bring in more money. We're going to jump right into it. Number 4 on my list of the most requested handyman jobs, I call fixture replacement. And that could be a light fixture. It could be a doorknob. It could be a cabinet pull. See all these cabinet pulls on here? Someone got paid to put those on. These days, a lot of my customers are moving towards smart devices. They're replacing their light fixtures and their ceiling fans with ones that have Wi-Fi. They connect to the home wireless network, and you can control them from your home assistant. You can control them from your phone. A lot of them now have some sort of artificial intelligence. I've got a video coming out in a couple days, maybe a week or so, on a smart AI front door lock. Now keep in mind, these locks are hundreds of dollars, and you can charge hundreds of dollars to put them in. They only take a few minutes. It's basically pulling out the old deadbolt, putting in a new deadbolt, and getting the customer set up on the app. You should also know how to replace a light fixture with a ceiling fan. That means pulling down the old light fixture, prying away the old light fixture box, and putting up the reinforcement necessary to hang a ceiling fan. Sometimes you have attic access and you just go up the attic and pull the insulation away, do it from there. A lot of times you don't. Some bolted ceilings, you do not have accessibility up above, and you got to do everything from down below with one of those turnbuckle style metal pipes that spreads out between the rafters or the trusses. Very basic stuff. I've been doing it for decades, so it's kind of second nature to me. Coming in at number 3 is painting. You might be thinking to yourself, well, just about everybody can paint. Painting is very low skill. I 100% agree with you on that, but it's extremely annoying. To do it right is tedious. It's all in the preparation. It's not the fun part where you get to make the W's on the wall. It's making sure you have the drop cloths down. It's making sure you've got everything taped off. It's making sure you cut in. You're supposed to cut in before. I don't have the patience for that. I'll roll in and get to see some work done, and then I'll have the patience to cut in. Some people are really good at cutting in. You don't have to be really good at cutting in. You can be good at using masking tape, putting a little caulk line on there, smearing it real thin, paint it, and then keep your fingers crossed when you pull that it doesn't rip half the paint off the wall. So coming in at number 2 is something that needs to be painted, and that is drywall repairs. In my last video, I discussed extensively about how valuable it is to know how to do drywall repairs. Everything needs drywall repairs, and it is your way into a customer's home. There really is no specialty trade for drywall repairs or wall repairs. Every single winter, there's a massive polar vortex, and there are frozen pipes, burst pipes everywhere. Even in the South. Florida got snow just a couple months ago. Alabama, Mississippi, Texas, frozen pipes everywhere. They call up an emergency plumber. They pay thousands of dollars for a plumber to cut a whole bunch of holes in their wall, fix the pipes with shark bites. Now what? Well, they look at the plumber and say, are you going to fix this? And they say, well,
we don't do drywall.
That's where you come in. That's where I come in. You got to make a good impression, do a real good job, and explain to them what other services you do. Learning how to do drywall repairs is very easy. You can practice on your house, your mom's house. Maybe you don't have a house. Maybe you have an apartment. Kick a hole in the wall and practice your California patch or your butterfly patch, or cutting it out and putting in some backer board, screw some wood behind it, screw another piece of drywall on there, tape and mud, match the texture. Most places have orange peel or knockdown texture these days. Sometimes in some very old neighborhoods, you have flat plaster. You can use setting compound. You can even use drying compound over plaster, and it'll work perfect. I've done a ton of repairs on lath and plaster houses with joint compound and setting compound. Now, before we go on to the #1 most requested handyman job and the #1 skill you need, wanted to quick mention that I went to the Jobber Summit. I went through as much of it as I could, and the trend from the speakers and the information was all about scaling your business. Although I don't scale my business, I can see how you might want to scale your business. That brings me to today's video sponsor. It's Revenued. Many times in my career, I was presented with the opportunity to do a lot of big jobs. One of them, I could have used a lot of extra cash. So what Revenued is a flex line of credit. It's not a loan. You get approved for a certain dollar figure, and you don't need to take that dollar figure. It's just there, ready and waiting when you need the extra cash. Why would we need extra cash? I had a big job once, an apartment building. One corner sunk 4 inches, and every single window in this apartment building racked. It would no longer go up and down. It would have been nice if I had the money on hand to rent a giant 4-wheel drive forklift thing to pop these windows out, cut the whole square, put the windows back in, retrim, and caulk it in. I had to do it all with scaffolding. It was very time consuming and very dangerous. So if I had a flex line of credit like Revenued offers, I could have tapped into that money really quick, rented the equipment. Heck, I probably could have even bought the equipment, but I probably would have rented the equipment and got the job done much safer and much faster. I'll put a link in the description. The application process is very easy and straightforward. It's not based on your credit. It's based off of how much money your business makes a month. All right, back to #1. My #1 most requested and highest paying handyman repair is plumbing. You might be thinking, plumbing? Why don't they call a plumber? Well, because I got in there and did the drywall repairs from when the last plumber was called, made such a great impression, told them about my skill set, what I do. They wanted one guy that could come do the plumbing repairs and the drywall repairs. And that just expands into a lot of basic plumbing repairs, especially in the rental sector of home improvement. A lot of rental properties, the landlord is paying the water bill. So you can't have leaky faucets, you can't have leaky tubs, and you can't have toilets that are running. The guys that have watched my YouTube channels for a long time know that I frequently rebuild toilets. A rebuild kit, flapper, I think they got this new one out called the Super Flapper that is a universal flapper. You can make a ton of money going in and using the Super Flapper. Faucets. These days, kitchen faucets are designed to last 3 to 5 years before they start failing. It's like clockwork. The one in my house just failed, and well, I still haven't replaced it yet. That's kind of how it works. The handyman's house is never fixed. The retainer on the sprayer that goes up into the thing just disintegrated. There was a magnet there. Anyways, long story short, I haven't replaced it. I need to call a handyman to put in a new faucet in my kitchen. Garbage disposals is another major one. Most houses that were built by a builder have cheap garbage disposals, loud garbage disposals. They rust out in 3 to 5 years. They stop working. They start leaking underneath the sink. Every house is going to need a new garbage disposal every 3 to 5 years, unless they put in, a high-end one. Maybe you can sell one. The more the material cost, the more you get to charge to install it. Even if it's the same process, you got a $100 garbage disposal or you have a $500 garbage disposal. Well, you can charge double for the $500 garbage disposal as opposed to the $100 garbage disposal. It's time for the #1 handyman skill. Are you ready? You sitting down? It's customer service. Without customer service, all your manual labor skill set is useless because you need customer service in order to get the job. You have to have a reputation to get referrals. One of the most common comments I get is, how do you deal with this type of customer? How do you deal with this type of customer? The customer that nickels and dimes you, the customer that's constantly watching over your shoulder. I don't have to deal with that, and you don't have to deal with that. You have to build a reputation based off your customer service. That's going to get you customers that don't nickel and dime you, don't ask you how much it costs. They just want you to come do it. They just say, go fix it. They send you the garage code, or they tell you where the spare key is. These days, they got the smart locks. As soon as you show up, they just beam you right on in. You go do your work, and you invoice. It's as simple as that. They don't even ask how much it costs. The only way to get that is with repeat customers and referrals, and it comes through customer service. I know a lot of guys in this industry do not have people skills. That's how they found themselves here. You can learn it, and it will make you more money. We could talk at length about this topic of customers who call them up and just say, how much do you charge per hour? How much do you charge per hour? You have to get away from that. That's why I have no social media, no website, no nothing. I am a ghost, except for my reputation with my customers. That's how I made it. Hey guys, just want to jump in real quick. That's very confusing because in the last video, I told you needed a website, a Facebook page, and an Instagram page. And I still recommend that for your first 1 to 3 years. You have to go through a growth period. You have to weed out customers. You have to have time to get in front of customers, to use your customer service, and to build that reputation. Once you have a solid customer base, they take over. And they recommend you, and you don't have to worry about taking cold calls or going to give random estimates to people you've never met before. They are all pre-qualified by your previous customers. That's the only way my current customers can find me, is through my old customers. I want you guys, put down in the comments, what is your #1 most requested handyman job? Some of you know I have, 4 or 5 YouTube channels. But I've got one that's called Too Much Handyman. I'm going to have a couple videos come out on that channel in the next few weeks. It's a project that I've been putting off and talking about for years. And it's finally complete, about 90% complete. And you're going to want to see it. So Too Much Handyman, that'll be linked in the description underneath the link for Revenued. That's where you go to get some money, and get some money fast. Come and take it. Caulk gun shirts and hats are on sale, full price. Limited time only. That link will be down in the description. If you want to reach out to me directly, there will be a link to my Patreon. There's a lot of behind the scenes videos, a ton of live streams, and you can get directly in touch with me. I try to respond within 24 hours. Oftentimes, I make a custom video answering your question. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.